There was nothing of high mark in all this. They were not of handsome family, these Cratchits. They were not well dressed. Their shoes was far from being waterproof. Their clothes were scanty, and they had known very likely the insides of a pawnbroker's. But they were happy, grateful, pleased with one another, and contented with the time. When at last they faded, Scrooge had his eye upon them, and especially on Tiny Tim, until the last. Many calls Scrooge made that night with the ghost of Christmas present. Down among the miners they went, who labor in the bowels of the earth, and out to sea among the sailors at their watch. Dark, ghostly figures in their several stations. Much they saw, and far they went, and many places they visited, but always with a happy end. The spirits stood beside sick beds, and they were cheerful. On foreign lands, and they were close at home. By poverty, and it was rich. In almshouse, hospital, and jail, where a vain man, in his little brief authority, had not made fast the door, and barred the spirit out, the spirit left his blessing. It was a long night, if it was only a night. And it was strange, too, that while Scrooge remained unaltered in his outward form, the ghost grew older, clearly older.
My life upon this globe is very brief, Ebenezer. It ends tonight.
Tonight?
Tonight at midnight. Hark! The hour has come.
Oh no, not yet, not yet. There are still more things I wish to learn.
There you will learn from still another spirit, Ebenezer.
Scrooge looked about him for the ghost. It had vanished, and he found himself once more in his bed, in his dressing gown and his nightcap on his head. He heard the clock strike, and then he remembered the prediction of old Jacob Marley, and lifting his eyes, beheld the third spirit. A solemn phantom, shrouded in black, draped and hooded, coming towards him, slowly and silently, like a mist along the ground.
I know you. You are the ghost of Christmas yet to come. You'll show me the shadows of things that have not happened, but will happen in the time before us. Answer me, spirit, ghost of the future. I fear you more than any specter I've seen, yet I know your purpose is to do me good, and as I hope to live, to be another man from what I was. Lead on, lead on. The night's waning, the time's precious. Spirit, why have you brought me here again? Here at Bob Cratchit's home. But it's not the same. What? Why is it so quiet? So very quiet.
Mother, please.
Oh, my son. My little son, Tiny Tim. I loved him so.
Oh, Mother dear, you mustn't. It's almost time for Father to be home. Don't let him see you crying.
Yes, Martha.
He's late tonight.
He walks slower than he used to, and yet I've known him to walk very fast indeed with Tiny Tim on his shoulder.
So have I, Mother.
But he was so light to carry, and his father loved him, that it was no trouble, no trouble. Bob!
Good evening, my dear.
You're late, Bob.
Yes, I'm sorry, my dear. I went to the churchyard today. I wish you could have gone with me. It would have done your heart good to see how sweet and green a place it is. But you'll see it often. I promised him, yes, I promised Tiny Tim we'd walk there on a Sunday.
Father, dear?
It's God's will, Bob.
I'm trying to understand it, my dear. My son, my little son Tiny Tim, I loved him so.
Oh, that's cruel, cruel spirit. Can't you give me one ray of hope that I may change all that Tiny Tim may live? Where are you taking me now? Here? On a common street, spirit? What is there for me to learn here? Who are those men?
I don't know much about it, either way. I only know he's dead.
When did he die?
Last night, I believe.
It's likely to be a very cheap funeral, for upon my life, I don't know anybody who'd go to it. Suppose we make up a party and volunteer.
I don't mind going if a lunch is provided.
Come to think about it, I'll bet I was his best friend.
What?
We used to nod to each other when we were on the streets.
Spirit, help me. Who is this man that died? Is there no one to mourn the poor creature, no one to follow him to the grave? Perhaps they'll give him a green grave at least, like poor Tiny Tim. Perhaps. Spirit, where are we now? Merciful heaven, a graveyard, overrun with grass and weeds, choked with too much burying, desolate, lonely crumbling gravestones. Spirit, before I draw nearer to that gravestone, answer me one question. Are these shadows of things that will be, or are they shadows of things that may be only? Huh? Will you not speak to me, Spirit? What is that grave to which you point? Ah, now I see it. Aha, there's writing on that stone. The name on the gravestone is Ebenezer Scrooge. Ebenezer Scrooge. No, Spirit. No, hear me. I'm not the man I was. Why show me this, if I am past all hope? Tell me that I can change these dreadful shadows that you've shown me by an altered life. I honor Christmas in my heart. I'll try to keep it all the year. I'll live in the past, the present, and the future, and I'll not shut out the lessons that they teach. Tell me, Spirit. Oh, go on, tell me. Tell me that I can sponge away that writing on that stone, Spirit. I beg you, Spirit, I beg you.
God rest ye merry gentlemen, let nothing you dismay.
Spirit, I promise on my knees. I promise.
Stray, oh, tiny.
Why, what's that? It's my own drape. Oh, I'm home. In my own bed. In my own room.
God rest ye merry gentlemen, let nothing you...
And the sun is shining. It's clear. It's bright. No fog. What a beautiful day. Oh, glorious, glorious. Hey, boy. Oh, boy.
Yes, sir?
What's today?
What's that, sir?
What day is it, my fine fellow?
Today? Why, it's Christmas Day.
Ha ha! Christmas Day! That means I haven't missed it. The spirits have done it all in one night. All in one night. Heaven be praised.
How's that, sir?
Listen, my lad. Do you know where the Palater is? In the next street.
I should say I do.
Ah, an intelligent boy. A remarkable boy. Tell me, do you know if they sold that prize turkey that was hanging in the window?
The one as big as me?
What a delightful boy. It's a pleasure to talk to ye. Yes, my buck.
It's hanging right there, sir.
That's wonderful. Go down, will you? And tell him to send it to Bob Cratchit and his family on Broad Street. And, mind you, they're not to know who paid for it. Go along. Hurry, my lad. Here, wait a minute. Here's £50 for your trouble.
Yes, sir. And a Merry Christmas, sir.
Ha ha, and a Merry Christmas to you, my boy. Oh, I don't know what to do. I'm as light as a feather, as happy as an angel. I'm as merry as a schoolboy. Merry Christmas! A Merry Christmas to everyone, and a Happy New Year to all the world. Woo! Woo! Hello! My dear sir, how do you do?
I beg your pardon, sir.
Well, you, sir, aren't you the gentleman who came to me office in regard to that charity?
Why, yes, sir.
A Merry Christmas to you.
Yes, sir.
Allow me to ask your pardon, sir. And will you have the goodness to accept... I prefer to whisper this.
But Lord bless me, my dear Scrooge, are you serious?
Now, if you please, not a featherling less. A great many back payments are included in it, I assure you. Hey, will you do me that favor?
Well, my dear sir, I don't know what to say to such men.
Now, don't say anything, please. Come and see me, will you? Will you come and see me?
I will indeed, sir.
Haha, thank ye. I am much obliged to you. And thank you 50 times. Bless you and Merry Christmas.
Next morning, Scrooge was early at his office. He went early for a reason. If he could only be there first and catch Bob Cratchit coming late, that was the thing he'd set his heart upon. And he did it. Yes, he did. The clock struck 9. No Bob. 1:15. No Bob. Scrooge sat with his door wide open that he might see him coming in. At last, he came. His hat was off before he opened the door. His comforter, too. He was on his stool in a jiffy, driving away with his pen as if he were trying to overtake 9 o'clock.
15 and 21, 6 and carry the 1, 24 and carry the 2, 21, 8 and 9.
Hello, you Cratchit.
Yes, sir.
Step this way, Cratchit, if you please. Cratchit, what do you mean by coming in this time of the day?
Why, I'm very sorry, sir. Am I behind my time?
You are. Yes, I think you are.
Oh, it's once a year, Mr. Scrooge. It shall not be repeated. I was making rather merry yesterday, sir.
I'll tell you what, my friend. I'll not stand for this sort of thing any longer. And therefore, Bob Cratchit, I'm about to raise your salary.
Mr. Scrooge? Are you quite yourself, sir?
No, thank heaven. I'm not quite myself. Merry Christmas, Bob. Merry Christmas, my good fellow. A merrier Christmas I have given you in many a year. I shall raise your salary, and we'll see what we can do for Tiny Tim and the rest of your family. Ah? We'll discuss it this very afternoon, over a Christmas bowl of smoking bishop. Bob, make up a fire. Make it up, and buy another coal scuttle before you dot another I, Bob Cratchit.
Scrooge was better than his word. He did it all, and infinitely more. To Tiny Tim, who did not die, he was a second father. He became as good a friend, as good a master, and as good a man as the good old city knew, or any other good old city, town, or borough in the good old world. Some people laughed to see the alteration in him, but he let them laugh, and little heeded them. His own heart laughed. That was quite enough for him. He had no further intercourse with spirits, but lived upon the total abstinence principle ever afterwards. And it was always said of him that he knew how to keep Christmas well if any man alive possessed the knowledge. May that truly be said of us, of all of us. And so, as Tiny Tim observed, God bless us, everyone.